Hey guys, so this is sort of a two-in-one kind of video. In a way, we're revisiting a classic 60% keyboard, the GK61, and this time we're replacing every part but the PCB, but we're also reviewing the Glorious Panda switches. A lot planned for today, so sit back, grab a snack, and let's dive in. So here are all the parts I'll use today. I went with the GK61 as it's likely the last time I'll talk about it now that the GK61X is out, and it has everything the original version has and more. Still, I like this board and it has a 100% NC standard layout, it's reprogrammable, has hot swap switch sockets that support 5-pin switches, and it has mounting holes for a standard 60% case. Other parts I'll use are this KP Republic Kylin aluminum case. First unit I received was defective, but they sent a replacement unit, so that's cool. I thought this case looked great, and it also has a small acrylic piece to let LEDs under the PCB shine through. Pretty cool for the price. I will also replace the stock plate with a brushed aluminum one. I also had plate-mounted stabs that I lubed a while ago, so I went with these instead of the stock GK61 stabs. Like I mentioned earlier, I will go with the Glorious Panda switches from Glorious PC. They sent these over for me to check out and I'm super stoked to try them out. I've never tried the original Holy Pandas, but these look promising at an affordable price, so sounds like a great switch. Finally, I'll use these Maxkey black and white SA keycaps. It's a fairly small set, covering only a full-size board without unconventional keys, but it's perfect for a standard 60% board like the GK61. So I started by unscrewing the PCB from the original case. It takes a bit of force as the USB port is in the way. I then removed the screws at the back that are holding the plate and PCB together. For the new plate, I cannot reuse the screws to hold it together with the PCB, so for now, the only contact points will be with the switches pins, and it sounds like a bad idea, and it sort of is, although it holds surprisingly well afterward. So I installed all the switches to the plate one by one and made sure the pins weren't bent or anything. With the stabilizers pre-installed and pre-lubed, it was just a matter of sandwiching the plate and switches with the PCB. The GK61 PCB has holes for the unconventional case patterns and plate it uses, but it also has standard holes for GH60 cases. And the plate also has these holes exposed, so I was able to secure the PCB and plate to the case. Then it was a matter of installing all the keycaps, pretty straightforward given that the layout is standard. I also have these artisan keycaps from KeySculptNerd in a 3D printed case, pretty cool. These are wood and resin keycaps and they also feature the SA profile, so a perfect match with this Maxkey keycap set. Unfortunately, the backspace keys had their stems a bit off, I guess, and the key kept getting stuck when bottoming out, so I was only able to use the escape key at this point. It's really unfortunate as I thought they looked great. He told me he's working on making sure it doesn't happen again, so hopefully that's no longer an issue in the future. Okay, so I think this keyboard looks so good. The all black theme from the case to the plate and keycaps, it looks super classy. Those SA keycaps also give a really nice look with the large centered font, and even though the plate is technically not well secured, it feels nice when typing. And with the LEDs set to all white, I think it's a really solid look. All in all, it's a fairly heavy keyboard at a little over 1 kilogram or 2.25 pounds. The case's finish is pretty good, although the little details on the side are very sharp. The anodizing process looks great and the model name is Machine at the bottom. The opening for the USB port is large enough for most standard cables, although it's worth noting that my coiled MechZone cable didn't fit, but it has a very large and round connector sleeve. Other third-party cables like this magnetic one fit nicely, and although the GK61 and this case weren't meant to match, the port is dead center. The acrylic piece barely lights up, but that's mostly because this PCB doesn't have LEDs underneath. I bet it would look nice if it did. Looking at the keycaps, I've always liked these Maxkey SA sets. I've had them in a few colors, but a white on black theme definitely looks nice. These are SA and double shots, so legends won't wear off, and they have a decent thickness. Only thing I'm not happy about is that the Z key is scratched. That's how it was out of the box. That's really unfortunate for a set that costs like $100. I expect all keys to be perfect. And finally, that wood and resin artisan escape key is really nice. Now to these Glorious Panda switches, I was rocking novelty blueberries in my GK61X, but these were a tad too heavy for my taste. These feel just right with a 67-gram spring. The tactile bump has basically no pre-travel, but it feels quite smooth, and the switch moves back up quickly. They do sound a bit scratchy out of the box, but lubing them should do the trick, something I plan to do once I receive my switch opener. The only cons I would point out are the audible spring ping when typing hard, and also that the stem wobbles a tad bit more than what I would like. The gap with the housing seems a bit larger than other switches I've tried recently, and then with SA keycaps, it's definitely worse. So I would probably go with low profile keycaps with these switches to minimize the wobble, something like a cherry profile. So I'll leave you with a sound test. Watch out for that spacebar. When it moves up, it's quite loud. So yeah, not sure what's up with that spacebar. I don't know if it's the case or the fact that it's SA and creates reverb. I'll try to see if I can reduce this talk. I won't go too much in depth regarding Bluetooth, LEDs, nor the software supports, as I've covered these aspects multiple times in past videos. You can look at my original reviews of keyboards like the GK61, SK61, or GK64X for more info on that. In short, this keyboard has 3 programmable layers that can be stored on board, with one layer that's mapped to the current state of the driver. The variant I have doesn't support Bluetooth nor has a battery, but the LED animations can be changed with the software and they persist on board. One important aspect with GK keyboards is that the feedback regarding which profile you're on, which Bluetooth device is connected, and more is communicated with the LEDs. So I would only use switches that let light shine through, and fortunately these Glorious Panda switches do. In conclusion, I definitely love how this keyboard looks, and the Glorious Panda switches are great, especially considering the price. I look forward to lubing them to reduce the scratchiness and improve the overall sound. Otherwise, actually securing the plate with the PCB would be nice, also something I'll end up doing with the right bushing screws and nuts. The case and keycaps are a solid visual match too. I'll have a hard time replacing this keyboard for my next review. So that wraps it up for today. As always, I'll have affiliate links to this keyboard down below, as well as all the parts I used, including the Glorious Panda switches. Feel free to use these links if you're interested and want to support the channel at the same time. So thanks for watching, make sure you leave a like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, as I'll see you in the next video.